Good morning. If you can hear me, say hello in the comments and let me know. We're doing tiny Backstreets today. I wonder what's in this vending machine. These streets are all so narrow, and this is a beautiful place to start. Also, Cookie Ninja, thank you so much for kicking off things and getting that super chat ball rolling. I've talked in previous streams about this weird subculture of people just hanging out in their cars early in the morning, and we've got one right there. So let's head down this way. Okay, so we're gonna start by exploring some back streets. What we're gonna do is we are going to explore the Shitamachi area between Akihabara and Ueno this morning. What do we got? Over here and this way. And as a super exciting added bonus, just as we started this stream, despite the forecast being clear, it has started raining. So, you know, that's a fun thing too. We get to walk through the rain this morning. So, something for everyone to enjoy. And Tim keeping that super chat ball rolling with morning. Never mind, guys. Tim, thank you so much for that. There's a lot of exciting stuff to share with you guys this month. It is going to be quite the month. And Chris Yamagata in there with that super sticker. Chris, thank you so much for that. You know, I think we can get this a lot more stable. Check this out. So I got myself a new gimbal, and this is the whole thing, and I just need to get it set up. I'm going to try and turn this around for a second, which I never ever do on TOKYOLENS Explore, but this is the whole thing. I was very, very, very skeptical because my usual gimbal is like the size of two water bottles. It's much. I placed that here earlier. My original gimbal is like much bigger. I usually use like the DJI OM3 or something, and it's terrible. Also, Trinity Studios, good morning from Morning Coffee. Thank you so much, or hot chocolate. And Cicely, thank you. Good morning. Will we be spending Christmas in Japan this year? Yes, I will. This thing here, so noisy in the morning. This thing here, if it works, and I'm gonna try this out today. It's called the PowerVision S1, and it's like a tiny little compact gimbal, because I travel back and forth between Tokyo and Kagoshima a lot, and I needed something smaller that I can just put in my pocket or my bag. It's got numbers on it to tell me what order to do everything. That should be the whole kit and caboodle. So we're gonna test this out today. I have been so tired of my DJI gimbal, and you gotta screw on this whole thing to the bottom of the DJI gimbal, but this one here, it has little legs that just pop out, and so I can just use this. There we go. It's got a stand, so I can just stand it, and now I'm gonna try to attach it. So hopefully this won't kill the stream. Fingers crossed. Okay. Now we need to turn it on. And ooh. I think we're doing okay. All right. I think we're ready to go explore some back streets. This little surprisingly smooth. This is wonderful. Let's turn this around. Look at that. Also, I want to give a huge thank you to Josh Stark for keeping that super chat ball rolling as well, and Sherry for that insanely generous super sticker, kicking the morning off great. I love that. Thank you so much. As well as John Manning. How you doing, man? It's always good to have people from the Patreon crew here as well. John, great to see you. Have you explored Sangenjaya? I'm planning to have a walk around there while it's quiet. Ooh, Sangenjaya is one of the areas of Tokyo that I do not go to very often. So okay. Just getting used to this new gimbal. And Constantatius Chrysidius with a super sticker as well. Thank you very much. And Babad Matt 8112. Morning, sir. Got my lotto ticks, hoping for a vacation in Tokyo. Yes, I am going to be announcing the winner of the, oh wow, okay, so that gimbal moves real fast when you point up and down. Little movements. I am still giving away a flight to Tokyo, and I'm going to be announcing that winner fairly soon-ish. Okay, we came from down this way. I now have my bearings. We will walk this way. And with the, oh yep, the wide camera's already got some water on it. Yay. Wonderful, there we go. And Glitch God Diemos in here keeping that super chat while rolling, saying thank you for some much needed distraction. Super happy to do so. All right, so right now we are in the Ueno Hirokoji Okachimachi area, and this is actually, okay, it says it right on the side, this PowerVision S1 gimbal. This thing is, what do you guys think? This thing is actually pretty cool. It's working nicely. It seems smooth enough. And I just realized, I forgot to mention, I think it has a wireless charger on the side of it. Like, can you all see this? Like that's not bad. It's not bad at all. Let's go this way and see what we've got. Holly Wallace in here, keeping that super chat ball rolling, saying good morning. This is my first time catching a live at the beginning. Well, welcome to the beginning of the live stream. Have a great day and be safe. Thank you so much. Both of those are the plan. This is actually a street that in Ueno that I basically refuse to come down at night because it's all like a catch alley, and they have guys standing out here all night trying to get you to come into their clubs and stuff like that, and it is just so. And Jay-Z Evan there keeping that super chat ball rolling as well, saying good morning Norm, here's something for coffee and or breakfast. I appreciate that, thank you. So right here on this side we have Ueno Park. Let's go take a quick peek and see what Ueno Park looks like at this time of the morning, what type of people we got hanging out here, and then we will slowly make our way down towards Akihabara area. And Marty Vin saying, is it too early for coffee? Marty, you know it's not too early for coffee. You know it's never too early for coffee. I was gonna jaywalk, and then that car down there started coming. And I don't feel like being a pancake, so I figured I would wait. All right, beautiful. Don't back over me, sir. Please and thank you. This is actually not bad. So we got a crew of people here this morning, stretching out. They're all doing like kung fu-esque stuff earlier. Actually, it's a surprisingly large crew. It is currently just after 6:30 a.m. here in Tokyo. We are down at the Shinobazu Pond, and down in this area, a lot of people tend to start their morning by exercising and stretching and all of that stuff. And I think I can adjust this gimbal just a tiny bit more So it's a little more, look how easy that was. Okay guys, do you guys want to know my biggest pet peeve over the past like year or so of streaming, other than like connections? My biggest pet peeve is that if you go back to almost any TOKYOLENS Explore video, the dang gimbal is kind of like this for the whole video. And I have reset and restored and calibrated that old gimbal so many times, but every single video it's just like, nah, I'm just gonna lean a little bit to the left. And this one here, it was leaning there for a second, and I was able to make one quick adjustment, and it's beautiful. And the phone clip holds my phone so much better. Okay, so this is actually my first time using it, so we're gonna find out today, right here in this stream, whether this thing is good or whether it's not. So there'll be no avoiding it. There will be no avoiding telling. Apparently the battery's bigger as well, so it should last longer. And William in here saying, been a while since I catch a live beer on this side of the globe. Well, thank you so much for that. As well as Badman Matt saying, idea video of the best breakfast spots in Tokyo. Literally already did that video. Did a video called The Best Breakfast in Tokyo, I believe. I think that's the exact title. Spoiler alert, it's in Asakusa and it's amazing. All right, and John Michael in here saying, good morning, Norm, from Shizuoka Prefecture, Japan. This is also my first time catching your live stream. Oh, thank you so much. Use this to go get some sushi today. I think I will. I have some exciting meetings today, actually. One of the reasons that we're kicking things off so early today, can I adjust this up a little? There we go. One of the reasons that we're kicking things off so early today is because I have a couple early morning meetings, and some of them are wildly exciting. And they're gonna hopefully lead to some really fun videos. And Castaway Olivan keeping that super chat ball rolling in here, saying, I personally feel like I would do early morning exploration more than night exploration in Japan. Which do you prefer? Both have their benefits. Early morning exploration for somebody who's not accustomed to traveling on their own can definitely feel a lot safer. Also, it's just nice to get kind of a jump on the day and then you're up. You know, go out, get some breakfast. Honestly, I might lean towards early morning, but personally, I've always done a lot of late night. It's just kind of worked out that way. I've always been more of a night owl than I am an early bird. And let's see if we're gonna get squished. No, squished-charoo. It's like they want you to jaywalk here. Look, here's the proof that jaywalking is acceptable. See? They made that little space right there just for me to walk through. But I don't think you can go wrong with early morning or late night, especially anywhere in Japan, really. So, all right. And trying to adjust this a little more. Hopefully I won't kill it. There we go. And I also want to give a thank you to Dennis Vardy for that super sticker. And Personal Contrast. Personal Contrast, how is it going? So Personal Contrast has been on a recent binge of all the TOKYOLENS content, leaving comments on all the channels as we went along, and it gives me a chance to get to know you. So Personal Contrast, this is a personal hello from me to you. I hope you're doing good. Thank you for your binge watch lately. I have been enjoying it quite a bit. So this is the entrance to that street we were talking about a second ago. Let's walk through and then we'll head down this way. Maybe we'll loop back. This is honestly at night. This is probably about the seediest area in Ueno right here. So things only get better from here, folks. And hanging out with Otto. Don't know, Norm, are you going to do another mega month of streams like you did last year? Unfortunately, I don't think that this month is going to be a mega month of streams. I took a little bit of time for myself in November. Ooh, got some rats down there. That's exciting all of its own. I took a little bit of a break. You see, this is like the big ad revenue month for creators. And so all the creators in the month of December go absolutely crazy, releasing a ton of content. And by January, everyone's super burnt out. And I've had that. And that's coming from somebody who absolutely loves going out and streaming and exploring and making videos and the edits. And I love every single part of the process. And I still find myself a little bit burnt out at the end of December. So I've decided that this year I'm going to enjoy everything. I'm going to enjoy creating, but at the same time, I'm just going to enjoy living life and take a lot more time to just be present and enjoy life this year. And so far, it's going great. But as we do that, I'm setting up a ton of stuff to kick off next year. Is super exciting. Also, that doesn't mean that there's no content coming this month. There definitely is, and some of the wildest stuff. I spent 2 weeks with somebody who does a job that I didn't even actually think existed. Didn't think it was a real job. And it is, and it was amazing. Oh my God, the excitement that I feel for this video to come out and for you guys to see this. I can't believe it's a real job. And the day it drops, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. That's gonna be on the TOKYOLENS main channel. And the day that video comes out, you're gonna be like, this is the video. I am so excited about this one. And then there's a bit of a follow-up after that that gives you a lot more context on it. And you know, there's a whole bunch of videos. There's a very good chance as well that the video, I said last year that I got my boat license specifically for one video, and I never ended up doing that video. I might just put together that video anyway. There are many of the pieces there. It is not complete, but we might just give it a shot. So there is going to be plenty of that this month. There is going to be some travel, so there may be streams here and there, but this month is definitely a setup. Is there water on the lens again? There was. All right, I hope that helps answer that. And while I was in Canada for that break last month, I finally got to see my brothers and sisters for a bit, which was fantastic. And I got to do an event and meet a lot of great people. And John Michael in here saying, I meant to say I'm adopted from Shizuoka Prefecture that had been in the US for 22 years. That's pretty cool, John Michael. Thank you for sharing that. And talking about cool people that I got to meet and hang out with while I was in Canada. Remo, I don't know which one of those. I should have asked you in person when we were hanging out at the event. Sent in a beautiful super chat here. Thank you so much for that. And Trinity Studios, again, keeping that super chat ball rolling by saying, today was my first day at my new job. Congratulations! Congratulations on the new job. What a great way to celebrate by watching TOKYOLENS explore. Yeah, it's been a little while, hasn't it? Look at this. Look at this space back here. Seriously, get the water off the lens. I'm gonna go bonkers with water on the lens. Can we, there. I don't know what it is about these, like, this is like the beauty of Tokyo to me. These more grimy spots here. And I think this is a very good show of what this PowerVision S1 gimbal can do. This is smooth, look at this. Look how beautifully smooth, but this here, this is Tokyo to me. I absolutely love this. A couple years back, I went to visit Sharla out in Korea, and I fell in love with kind of the same grimy side of Korea like this, and made a video of it. And multiple Korean people commented and like, how dare you show the dirty side of Korea? Korea's a beautiful, they were very, very angry, but I was like, no, I'm showing what I think is beautiful. I also made a video once about this coin company here, this like Fujita coin locker, and like how many people abandon their stuff in these lockers. Sometimes ones that like are seemingly empty. See, they have stuff in them. They have stuff in them. It's just not paid for. I don't want to do that as in like, hey, look at the stuff in the locker. You should come. But that is crazy. People will just not pay for it and put it in. And some of these other ones. Also, I got a lot of questions about how these lockers work. Apparently, coin lockers aren't as common overseas as I thought they were. It's very, very simple. Like, if I want to use this locker, for example, I would put in my stuff and I would put in 200 yen and then I would turn the key, and that 200 yen gives me what, like 24 hours in the locker or something? Something like that. And then after that, the price goes up. And then it's got like the max price is 3,000 yen for these boxes, for these big ones here. For the small one, the max price is 1,000 yen, which means if it's 200 yen a day, that'd be like 5 days, right? Now this one is currently at 600 yen, which means it's likely been there for about 3 days. And so people will leave stuff in here. Like this one here is up to 2,100 yen and it's a 300 yen locker. So it's been there about a week. Did I do that math right in my head very quickly? So that is how these coin lockers work for the curious. This gentleman's having a great chat with himself this morning. We're gonna head down this way. And there were a few more super chats in there. Let me get to them and read them and say hello. I don't wanna miss those. All right, we're gonna head this way. And Grizzo saying, excited for the stream. Glad I could catch it for the UK. Early morning Tokyo looks so amazing. Also, that gimbal is actually awesome. I'm impressed. I am not disappointed with this tiny little handheld gimbal. This thing works really well. As always, if you're wondering what gear I am using, I keep everything in the description box of each video. That goes for normal videos and the live streams as well. And Elaine and I also got to hang out here in Tokyo. We did rooftops spontaneously and it was amazing. Thank you so much for that super chat. That would be a time you don't want to jaywalk. That would suck. Christopher in there with the super chat as well. Thank you so much. And Ransom Reed in here saying, love your content. How are the flight lessons? Any plans for more videos about your pilot journey? Absolutely there are. Ooh, I love this look. I love this space, this area. I just really enjoy it. Let's head down this way and get into some more of the backstreet areas. So, took a little time off in November, went back to Canada, so I didn't do a ton of flying there. And in the winter, wow, it is so noisy on the main street. In the winter, the winds get pretty strong in Kagoshima, which is not super conducive to flight training. So I'm doing a little bit less flight training in the winter than I would during other times, if that makes any sense at all. Ah, yes. Let's go for it, bro. All right. But there's an entire channel coming based around my flight training. So it's Up in the Air channel is up and running. We just haven't gotten to our first video on it. So, and Gary in here saying, first stream I've been able to catch since the most recent Akihabara stream. How goes it and what's on the docket? Well, right now the docket is exploration. It goes quite well. We are exploring all these back streets and we're gonna make our way down towards the area of Akihabara today. Oh, I love just coming around every single corner in these back streets. It's just, I love this. So thank you so much for that super chat, Gary. And is it Maria or Mariah? Miss Jensen, Mrs. Jensen, whichever it is, thank you so much for the super sticker. Also, Marty in here saying those back alleys remind me of playing the game Stray. I can see that. I can definitely see that. It is a game I haven't gotten to yet, but that I want to get to. And pretty much caught up on super chats at this point, saying this or that. Best way to get cash prior to or during trip, city or country, trying to avoid paying multiple fees. If you're trying to avoid paying multiple fees, try to get all your cash in two ways. Number one, get it in the country that you're hoping to go to. Tends to yield you much better rates. Like if you were to get your cash in Japan rather than in your home country, you're likely to get a much better rate. Also, just check Reddit to see which is better. It may have changed. I haven't moved overseas in a long time. But the other thing is, you're gonna wanna take out as much at once as possible. Japan is a very cash-based country, so you're gonna wanna carry plenty of cash with you. The more that you have, the less times that you've gotta go out and exchange again. It's finding that balance between that and not carrying around a scary amount of cash all at once. And more often than not, the post offices are going to have international ATMs, which otherwise, for some reason, are weirdly hard to find. So there you go. Hope that helps. And Roy is saying, I missed his super chat. So I'm gonna scroll back and I'm gonna try and find that super chat. Roy, thank you for pointing that out. I did. Thank you, Roy. There we are. Oh, here we go again with these trucks in the morning. It's the least quiet part of Tokyo in the morning is the trucks. The garbage trucks are actually truly the worst. Early morning streams are nice for us living in Europe and then also progress in the World Cup, which is always nice. I have avoided the World Cup like a plague this year because every time I get into the World Cup, I get way too into it. Like way too. I've mentioned it in previous streams, but I have enough self-awareness to know that I have a very, very addictive personality. So that's why I try to do things that will hopefully be conducive over the long term, like wake up earlier more, drink more water, avoid alcohol when I can, exercise more, because otherwise, if I start into the bad habits, who knows how far we'll take. This dude is just coming around that corner at quite a speed. There we go. You point a camera at anyone and they slow down and do the right thing real quick. Real quick. So, and making sure, okay, this and that. And Timothy saying, hey Norm, just saw Kumamon on a sign, reminds me of my trip to Kumamoto back in 2015. Can't wait to get back. Well, now that the borders are open, I hope you can get back soon. Also, Silver in here saying, here's a good morning to Norm and everyone. Thank you very much. And Personal Contrast asking how I like the name Backstreet Boy. I think you know. Considering how much I ignore it, I think you know. I also, what do we got? Look down this way. This dude's walking so serious. It's like the most serious walk ever. All right. I'm also low-key considering. You see, I've got my skateboard with me here. I'm low-key considering just zipping through the back streets on skateboard because it's one of the best areas for that. Most of this part of Tokyo is completely flat, which makes it really easy to do that. Let's flip that. Yo, did I miss anything else? No, we are good. Okay, we are good. All right, we got some morning good boys and some narrow streets over here. Walking this way. Josh Stark in here saying, happy to be continuing the Normathon 2022 with his live stream at the office, but able to watch. So that's great. I love when people are actually able to like watch from their job or from their office. Like, that's fantastic. That's great. Thank you. Also, yes, Josh has also been, I've had a great opportunity to get to know Josh. We've been going on quite the video binge together, and I'm going to quiet down for a second because I'm super curious about this here. We're going to whisper as we go in. It is just barely wide enough for me to fit in. What do we got? There's a light here. There's a bike there. And there it is. To someone's place. See, you think it's just a tiny little alley, and then you get stuff like this. God, I love Tokyo for this. Oh, I love Tokyo for this just so much. And Amber in here keeping that super chat ball rolling by saying, so happy to catch a live stream. I hope you're well, Norm. I am doing great. It actually started out pretty cold this morning and it's gotten much nicer now. So a little windy, but you know, can't have everything. And it is a nice day. It's gonna rain today. So I wanna enjoy the beautiful gray skies while I can. So, still getting used to this gimbal, but it's so convenient. It's so tiny. Like, I'm loving this. Guys, so far, what do you think of this gimbal? I'm kind of feeling that it's actually smoother than the DJI gimbal in some senses. What do you think? Let me know. And Sarah in here with a $2 super chat. Ohio from Ohio. I love it. I love it. I've always, oh man, I've always kind of wished that I could do that, that I could like be in Ohio and say Ohio. You get the whole, that is just a neon cherry in the middle of nowhere. Yes, I'm easily distracted. I have a couple of these signs as well, which I've contemplated for a long time putting up on the office wall. There are some huge changes being made to the office right now. There is some construction being done, and it is all good and all exciting. All right, people saying 10 out of 10, loving this. It is the PowerVision S1. So if anybody's looking to do streams and doesn't want to carry around, like honestly, it's such a pain in the butt to carry around the normal. Gimbals didn't used to fold. It used to be just this like giant thing that you had to carry around in a case. And the more convenient gimbals have gotten, the more I've been streaming. So if I start streaming more and more over 2023, then you guys can thank PowerVision for that. So, because is that I think that's the company name. I don't know, but having this tiny little gimbal is gonna make that. It's one of those things, right? Like if you're a viewer, the gimbal is just the thing that might keep the screen a little more stable for you. But if you're the one who's got to carry it around everywhere and set it up every time and pack it up and this, that, the next thing, the gimbal, for people asking what the gimbal is the thing that basically stops the phone from being shaky. It's the thing that I put the phone on to carry it around that makes it smooth like this. And it is the bane of my existence if it's a crappy one. But this one's actually pretty great. So, hey Norm, please show us what your serious walk looks like. Do I have a serious? I might have a serious walk. And Joseph in here keeping that super chat ball rolling as well. Both Joseph and Lesmond, thank you for that. So you can see the shadow of the gimbal and how tiny it is. It's like a stick. So, all right. Which way should we go? Let's explore this. I want to go every way. But I never take this side of the streets at all, ever. So I think we're gonna head down this way. Let's do this. And Amy, thank you so much. I'm glad that you are enjoying the stream. Ministry of Serious Walks, was it? Ooh, narrow street. See, that's it. I'm a cat. I'm officially a cat. I'm pretty sure that that's why Ayaka and I get along so well. Ayaka is in Okazaki-san from the tiny apartment videos, because if there's a tiny narrow street or a little crevice, that's where I'm going. The narrower the street, the better. Every single time. Yeah, there we go. Actually, Jatake. I don't, there's so many ways, and I'm pretty sure everything I've said is wrong. Said that this gimbal looks more like a selfie stick with more uses, and it definitely does. So, all right, we're getting close to the area of Akihabara right now. If you haven't already, just do me a favor and give that like button some love. I'd love us to, what's our next big milestone? That's the other wonderful thing that's happened today. My backup phone that I use to check, hill? We can do a hill. My backup phone that I use to check the stream as we go along kind of died out this morning. So I don't have the ability to check any of that stuff. Jot Ace. So, whew. And the rain's not too bad so far. You know, knock on brick. The main streets do get a little noisy. This street will bring you kind of onto the back side of Akihabara. You are so loud. Stop it. I think we're gonna stick with the quiet back streets because it's just so much more peaceful. Let's go down this way. And honestly, okay, so there's a comment in there that said, I love these kind of views even though it's nothing special, and honestly that's why I do it. It's just something nice about walking through the quiet Shitamachi back street areas, whether it be in the morning, at night, anytime during the day. And after me making the comment about the rain has picked up, so this will also be a really great test as per how this gimbal handles rain. The last gimbal that I used started like glitching pretty bad after us getting stuck in the rain fairly heavily one day. And Hollywall is keeping that super chat ball rolling by saying, walk, fashion baby. Oh no. Work that serious, walk so crazy. You just wanted me to say that, didn't you? I think that I just got played in the comments section. It is, yes, it is currently 7 a.m. in Tokyo. The rain is picking up. We are speedily heading towards the area of Akihabara. I think we should just do an entire Akihabara stream sometime. Just walk the entire area of Akihabara in a loop over and over and over. Let's check out these streets here. Unfortunately, I was gonna be doing this stream maybe, I would say a week or so ago. And then on the day that I was gonna do the stream, we got hit with rain. So the stream was then not an option. And so I waited till this week and checked the forecast, and there was no rain. So, and then it rained. That's my story. And Zane, keeping that super chat ball rolling by saying, have a coffee on me, sir. Thank you very much. I'm taken aback, thrown off. I have questions about this shop. What is it? What is it? Oh, what is this little bike? It looks electric. This very much looks like an electric bike. I feel like it's one of those ones that you can kind of like change out the batteries on. That's an adorable little bike. It only comes up to like my knee though. So it's definitely a tiny bike. All right, we're gonna try and make our way across this street, hopefully without getting squished or dying. We just gotta wait for the light to change, because that's when you cross the street. Everything is getting rained on. All right, don't squish me. All right, yellow usually means it's gonna turn to red, and then a few people will ignore the red light and go through anyway, because this is Tokyo. And as long as it hasn't been red for more than 3 to 4 seconds, you're apparently legally obligated to go through it. If there's a pedestrian or bicycle person going through and you're a taxi, you're legally obligated to try and hit that person. These are real laws of Tokyo, or at least based on their commonality, you would think that they are. These are real things. I don't want to go to a crosswalk. Don't tell me to go to crosswalks. It's like a theme of the channel. We jaywalk. It's what we do. We go out of our way to jaywalk. So it's more fun that way. You've never played Frogger? The game Frogger would not exist if the frog just went to crosswalks. Give that one a think. Frogger would not be a game. It would just be called Crosswalks. Be a different game. You just be waiting for the light to change. And Nikita, thank you so much for keeping that super chat ball rolling. Also, Greg, thank you for yours as well. There's actually something over here that I want to show you. So in a recent video, I did a thrift shop in Ueno. Yeah, that's an appropriate speed. And in that video, closer to the end, I talked about I have a friend down in Shikoku, and she does survival games, or airsoft, if you will. And I asked if anybody would be interested in me going down and spending some time with her to make a video on that. And we got quite a few responses. It seems that the airsoft video is something that people want to happen. This here is one of Tokyo's glorious airsoft shops. It is called Echigoya Tokyo. It is right on the edge of Akihabara, so that's how you know we're in Akihabara now. And Gary saying, any fun travel spots near Tokyo in September? So, for those who are newer, the one thing that I always ask when people ask me like any fun travel spots or any advice for places to go is I need a little more context on what you like what you're into, what kind of stuff. If I have at least a rough category, because for me, going out to the mountains, going out to, Mount Takao or something like that, or finding a festival, I can't think of any off the top of my head, but anything like that. Also, where is near Tokyo to you? Is like 3 hours okay round trip? Because that, or like one way, 6 hours round trip? Are you looking to do a day trip? There's so much stuff. Most of it's actually likely already going to be on the channel if it's near Tokyo, because for the first couple of years, I couldn't really travel and get out other places. So, oh man, you're getting rid of perfectly good chairs? What? And you've got to be kidding me. It says "ご自由にどうぞ." Like, You can have the chair if you want it. Just go ahead and take the chair. That's gonna sit in it, give it a shot. It's actually not a bad chair. Surprisingly. Finding decent chairs at a reasonable price. They're all like, here's a free chair. Take it if you want it. What? Well, I'm not gonna imagine how annoying the stream would be if I just grabbed one of these chairs right now and we just rolled it through the city all the way to my office. I have plenty of chairs. It's not like I have a chair shortage. I've got like 7 or 8 chairs in the studio already. I don't need new ones, but when you see free chairs, you're like, hey. Also, the main chair that I use is very squeaky, so I do want to get a new chair, but it doesn't need to be that one. Grizzo is saying, hi Norm, glad I could catch the stream from the UK. It's so cool that you're exploring Akihabara. Also, Airsoft is great. I played here. That's awesome. This shop here, Arc, if you're ever looking to build a computer in Tokyo, this is one of my recommended shops. Just because the staff here are amazing and they've got a lot of great stuff. Not sponsored or anything like that. Also, Tao saying, great meeting you in Toronto, Norm. Likewise, thanks for coming. Do you have some Matsuya Gyudon when you got back? Of course I did. Absolutely. So, but here's the difficulty when you want to like build a computer in Japan. Oh my God, it got later. They don't open until 11:30 a.m. This has always been like my biggest frustration with shops in Tokyo is like 11:30 a.m. is not an appropriate opening time for shops in one of the world's most well-known electronic districts. And I'm happy that they're open till 8 now. It used to be 11:30 a.m. until 7. Weekends are 11 to 7:30, but still, like if you're coming out to Akihabara on like a Saturday and this shop is only open till 7:30 p.m. and you wanted to build a computer. So years ago when I was building my computer and I still had like a full-time job, oh my Lord, like you try to come out before work or after work and it's not an option because none of the shops are open and it just sucks so much. Also, that chair was a little wet, so my butt's a little wet right now. Personal contrast saying that chair would get you labeled dirt cheap. Yeah, it was literally outside and dirty and I sat on it. So that's a thing that happened. Now we are officially into the area of Akihabara. Let's take a peek inside the construction site. It's just a big green thing right there. What's up, pigeons? Hello, pigeons. We have a club. The Hello Pigeon Club. It's kind of like the antisocial social club, but with pigeons. So, in case you've ever wondered. What do we got here? Who buys stuff in shops anyway, right? Right? Let's head down this way. I should also break over to the other side of Akihabara because I never really go to that side. Hello, van. The van is now officially a part of the Hello Pigeon Club. Also, I'm insanely hungry. And I think this is the first time that I've been able to like, maybe I've done it before. I've probably done it 100 times before. This is the area where I was originally going to get as my studio, or I was aiming for it. And Trinity Studio saying, any shrines or temples to see on this path of exploration? Yes, there is. let's go do exactly that. I love that idea. Let's go check it out. So this space here, they have to tear down this building, so they're not actually renting it out to anybody. But you can see like how old the building is as well. But this here, look, see, you can see the gimbal, look at that. But this here is the space, and it's like a sixth of my current studio. So it's much, much, much smaller. So I'm glad that also it's considerably further from the station as well. Like my current studio is about a 7-minute walk from Akihabara station. Like if you're coming from the Yamanote line and you got off the Yamanote line, you would be able to get to my studio in about 7 minutes. But it's also only about 10 minutes from Kanda station and 10 minutes from Ochanomizu station. So it's right in the middle of all these major stations with Tokyo Metro less than a minute from the office itself. So got pretty lucky with the current location of my studio here in Akihabara. I'm ecstatic. It's the bee's knees. It's a spectacular space. And as I mentioned earlier, we're doing some renovations on it. We're having some stuff built into it right now. If you are part of the Patreon crew, you got to join the secret live stream, 2 days ago, where I gave a bit of a reveal to you guys on what's being built into the studio right now. So you guys know exactly how exciting it is. I am pretty pumped about it. I also found out that there's all these like secret nighttime maid cafes in Akihabara. They're basically like, they're kind of like hostess clubs, but with maids. And you just pay and drink all night. So that's a thing. We are gonna go and find some like shrines and temples and whatnot though, because it just feels like the perfect thing to do on this live stream. So let's walk down this narrow street here and find ourselves a temple and or a shrine. Whew. I'm starting to get really hungry, which explains how many live streamers in Tokyo. I think it's getting oversaturated with too many vloggers. Can you imagine? Let me just point this comment out for a second. I wish I could highlight it on the screen. How many live streamers in Tokyo? I think it's getting saturated, oversaturated. Can you imagine being a viewer who complains about having too much content available to you for free? Let's just look at that for a second. Can you imagine what life you must have to see all of these people doing things that they love and sharing it with you, and you look at that and decide to see that as a negative thing? Like maybe you wanted to be a streamer or a vlogger or something like that, and you're feeling like it's getting oversaturated and it makes it feel like it's harder for you to get into the market, but that is not the case. I will tell you that when I started TOKYOLENS, there was an abundance, an overabundance even, of people who are making YouTube content about Japan, okay? And at that time, everyone was like, oh, not another vlogger making Japan content. Oh, this guy's gonna fail. The whole market's oversaturated. Oh, there's way too many people. You just stick with it. Do what you love. I didn't actually care if the channel ever became big. I was gonna do what I wanted to do for as long as I wanted to do it. And guess what? We are still here. So do me the kind favor and just search for a little bit more happiness in your life, because for you to look and say, oh, it looks like it's oversaturated, like, it's a great thing. especially for you as a viewer, especially if you are stuck outside of Japan and you're like, I want to get there, but I can't. Well, guess what that means? It means that almost no matter what time of the day it is, you'll be able to tune in and find someone streaming because it is so beautifully saturated. It's not overly saturated. It is beautifully saturated. It gives you a vast variety of options and different personality types, viewpoints, experiences for you to explore Japan through the lens of others, and that is an amazing thing. I can't imagine for a second looking at and thinking of it as anything other than awesome. I wish that there was this much content. I wish that there was this much content available when I lived outside of Japan. I would have killed to have this much. Oh, just so much stuff available. And there are all these different specialists focusing on different things. Now there's like VTubers and everything like that. You get people who are entirely focused on food. You have people who are doing adventure content, people who literally just walk around and have experiences or walk around and talk. You have channels that walk around and say nothing. There is literally something for everyone. Love that stuff. Just love it. And if you want to start, don't let that discourage you. I've been saying for years, I believe every single you're a person now, should be documenting their travels, their trip to Japan, something about their life. If you found a tape from your grandparents back from like the 1950s that said a Tuesday afternoon with Gertie and Al, you would 100% listen to that because you'd be wondering what a Tuesday afternoon for your grandparents back in the 50s was like, okay? That is guaranteed. You'd be like, what? What do we got going on here? What's on this tape? Okay? And for them, it's not that exciting to record that, but for you, years later to listen to that. And that's the other thing. So every single person here is having the opportunity to capture a piece of Japan in its current state because this is all going to change. Look at the number of buildings around us that are under construction. Everything we see at some point is going to change and be gone. And this is an opportunity to capture history right now. And I absolutely love it. So I hope that helps pull whatever stick is up there out for you and make you feel just a little more positivity towards the amount of amazing stuff going on right now. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. All right. And during that, Kevin kept that super chat ball rolling, saying, booked a trip for Kyoto to next year. Hope you enjoy it. Keep in mind that there are so many better places than Kyoto, though. Kyoto is actually pretty close to the bottom of the bucket when it comes to like beauty in Japan. I recommend Gujo Hachiman if you want a place as densely shrine and beauty populated as Kyoto, but 1,000 times better with about 5% of the people. Josh Stark saying, thank you, Norm. I literally started here second guessing starting vlogging. To be honest, you've been an encouragement a lot. Things I appreciate it. I'm glad because honestly and truly, every single person should be doing something to document this point in their lives, especially if you have the chance to go over and experience like another country, or if there's just anything at all. If you want to capture the process of you cleaning your room, someday your room won't look like that. If you could go back right now and look at like your childhood bedroom from the 90s, you'd want to do that, right? So even if you were just get a 360 camera, put it in the middle and take a photo once a year, then you'd have 360 photos of your room for every year of your life. And that's content. There's literally no reason not to, other than fear. And I can sing. Thanks for the bass stream, Norm. You're very welcome, and thank you for keeping that super chat ball rolling. Have you met other foreign YouTubers in Japan? Can I respond to that with LOL? I think I can respond to that with LOL, right? It's always cool to meet people who are new to the channel. Hi, my name is Norm, and this is TOKYOLENS Explore. It's the TOKYOLENS Explore channel. And yes, I don't think there's very many content creators in Japan that I haven't met or made content with. So, and Trinity Studio saying rate the stairs. Those stairs are clean, they're nice. They get a solid horse out of. Can we take a second and just appreciate this moment? Dude has a horse. Okay, you know what? We're gonna go through here and follow the man with the horse. It feels like we have to do that, right? Didn't you already come here before? Yes, you're welcome. I came here for a late night video in Akihabara. In personal contrast, saying, thank you for your words. I've been thinking about starting, where did it go? Every time a comment comes in. Thinking about starting to record singing in nature. Absolutely do that. You're such an inspiration. Well, hey, I personally have been inspired by this horse. Pony, tiny horse. How is this a thing? Like, I thought he was like delivering it to the shrine at first. It's gotta be some connection, right? He's gotta be delivering it to somewhere here. I don't assume that the temple has any form of petting zoo. Is he going inside with the horse? What is gonna happen next? I have to know. I'll follow him until we can't follow him anymore. If you haven't given that like button some love already, I think the horse warrants the like button. Give the like button some love and share the stream somewhere so other people can experience a horse walking through Tokyo. Oh, I want to get coffee, but I also want to follow a horse. So now the horse seems excited to go somewhere. I am super duper curious as to what's going on here. And I'm not the only one either. Because we have like a smoking stand over here. Because in Tokyo, they often do this. They have little stands where people can smoke. But while the horse is eating some leaves, I guess we'll look at the city for a second. Yeah, it's a miniature horse with a raincoat. すいません。聞いてもいいですか? Okay. Hi. Thank you. All right. He requested to be left alone, so that's fine. I'll respect that. Super curious about the horse in a raincoat. It feels like a mystery that may just never get solved, but nonetheless, it was an interesting experience. So I'm grateful for the horse in a raincoat. He was actually really nice about it. You know, he said, please leave us alone. And I'm like, you know, you want to be that polite with me, I'm not going to say no to you. And Sarah in here, keeping that super chat ball rolling, saying, currently hunched over my computer, trying to beat a deadline, but had to pause for the horse, right? You kind of got to pause for the horse. Oh. And personal contrast in there once again with a super sticker. Now, there was a super chat earlier asking about things to do near Tokyo. And when that super chat came in, I said, definitely, like, if you are gonna ask those questions, give me a little bit of context on what kind of stuff you like. If you're into cultural stuff, if you're into shrines, if you're into adventures, if you're into hidden places, mountains, if you're into food, because what recommendations I give you will vary greatly on that. But if I was gonna be going for like a day trip from Tokyo, I'd probably be heading out towards the area of Sagamihara. If I just wanted to do something simple, I'd probably go out to the area of like Mount Takao and Sagamihara area. There is a ton of stuff to do out there. And if you were to go to, for example, japanguide.com and just check out the area of Sagamihara, you will see just how much is there. It's a really simple day trip. In fact, I'm pretty sure I did a video once, likely titled Right Beside Tokyo. I think the title of the video was just Right Beside Tokyo. And in that video, I covered some of the amazing spaces in that area, like right beside Tokyo. So, and Daniel saying, I vlog every time I go to Japan. I only get about 5 views. I do like going back and rewatching to help remember what I did. Thanks for the good content. Well, thank you. I guess vlogged my entire first trip to Japan back in 2005 on a Sony Handycam. Never thought that I would actually look at any of the footage, but I wanted to record it all. I wanted to have it all. And lo and behold, here I am now. How many years later? 15 to 17 years later, watching back all of that footage on a fairly regular basis and like throwing it into videos here and there. And I'm so grateful for young me for taking the time to grab that Sony Handycam and record everything. So each of these lanterns is donated by a person. When I say donated, I mean they paid probably a couple $100 to have their name go on a plaque beside the lantern. I've always wanted to do that with one of the torii gates in Fushimi Inari. I always thought it would just be really cool to have a TOKYOLENS torii gate as we walk through Fushimi Inari. Like that would just be neat, right? It's not just me thinking that, right? It would have to be. I love the idea. So let's go and check this out. So the last time that I came to this area was actually during a nighttime walk in Akihabara, where we explored the area of Akihabara at night. There was like a really shady car parked out here. I'm just gonna give one more quick shout out and love to PowerVision S1. This gimbal here that I'm using is just bonkers good. I am considering actually just getting rid of my DJI gimbal. I can't think of ever actually using it again. This thing is just nuts. Look at this. I just love the look of this space. I came out here a couple years back for a giant shamisen performance that was going on, and it was pretty awesome. So, and Skelicopter, how much is an Akihabara office rental roughly? It depends on where you get and what size you get. I'm pretty sure there are probably offices that you could get for like $800 to $1,000. There's ones that range from $1,000 to $5,000. There's ones that range $10,000, $20,000, $50,000. So depending on what kind of office that you get, the location, the size and everything. If you're asking the price of my office, is all I'm gonna say, because I think it would be like really weird to be like, oh yeah, here's the amount I pay for the thing that that's like, I don't know. I don't think I would go up to somebody and ask them like, hey, how much is your rent? But you know, that's also like for me, like to ask somebody like, hey, how you doing? How much is your rent? It feels kind of weird. But then I watch Seinfeld. And like Seinfeld, that's just like a normal question people ask. So I'm probably the weird one, and that's okay. But look at these stairs. We were actually gonna go up these stairs earlier, and I looped around to the other ones because I like the view of coming down these stairs so much more. These stairs from above, as Tokyo stairs, get a solid 9 out of 10 just in terms of beauty. And yeah, Sachi has shared that the pony is called Akari according to Google, and she's staying in Kanda Myojin Shrine. There's a place for her in there. Well, now it makes me really sad that he said please leave us alone. Like, if you're part of this shrine and whatnot and you have a beautiful little pony, you know, please leave us alone is kind of a sad response to that, you know? You could have just told me she's staying at the shrine, but I guess maybe he was just shy, and people are allowed to be shy. So we will share some love with him and thank him for taking care of that beautiful little pony. I hope his day is beautiful and he stays well in health. There we go. And now I'm gonna follow this guy. He doesn't have a pony, but he has tea in his bag. So that's an adventure all of its own. Now in Germany, even between friends, you rarely ask that. You got a real good friends. It's kind of connected to your income. Huh. No, I just sneezed twice. So this guy here, like, yeah, I don't think I would walk up to that guy and ask him how much the rent for his building is. But you know, some people might. That's a totally normal thing for some people, I guess. And that's the set of stairs that we just went up. I like this building too. So recently I did a video on like Tokyo's tiniest house, and they just had cement walls, and I didn't realize that cement walls were such a like divisive, controversial thing. Some people loved the cement walls of the house so much. They're like, oh my god, it's gorgeous with the bare cement walls. I absolutely love it. Even my friend Charla has gotten like on her old place had stickers that made it look like she had bare cement walls. And other people are like, that is so cold and it makes you feel like you're in a prison. That's absolutely and like there was nobody who was like, oh, nice walls. It was like either they loved the cement walls more than anything, or they detested it and they felt like it was a sin against humanity and that the building should be torn down solely because it has cement walls. Where do you stand on that? Let's see it in the comments. Are you a love the bare cement walls inside of a house or apartment? Or are you that's a crime against humanity and the building should be torn down? I'd love to see your thoughts in the comments. Let's see just how divisive this really is. Narrow street, narrow alley. The bikes aren't too bad, but these are super slow, like unbelievably slow and hard to ride. These are also very slow, but I don't ride these anymore. Not after the incident. Also, I do want to introduce you to the area of Tokyo where a man once exploded and left nothing but his shoes. What's with the shoes? Why are they? Why? I don't. Oh my god, the level of like negativity and anger towards cement walls is actually, it just goes to show that like, honestly, people have such different preferences. Like there are people in here saying that they think it looks lazy. Right? I can get that. I can get that mindset, but it's also intentional. It's meant to look that way because people like the look. But like also if you then add insulation and then walls and everything on top of that, it makes the room considerably smaller. So in some places, that's really your only option. But I guess that if you don't like them, you just wouldn't live there. But cement gang rising up. Yeah, brutalism is cool. Like look at the viewpoints on this. Is what I mean. You guys can now see it in the comments of this video here. It is a rather polarizing topic. I never realized that cement walls would be a polarizing topic. I also never expected to get death threats for making tiny apartment videos. Yes, death threats for making tiny apartment videos. I had somebody email me Okay, so I've had probably upwards of 50 to 100 death threats for making tiny apartment videos. People saying that I'm working for the, what is it, CCP, CPP? I have no idea. They think I work for the Chinese government and that I'm trying to normalize tiny apartments in the hopes of squeezing the future of the human race into these little spaces while the wealthy live in giant mansions, and that I'm being hugely sponsored by governments and a secret society that wants to box all humans into cages. These are the number of messages I've gotten like this, whether it be in the comment section, through DMs, or through my email, is uncountable. An unbelievable number of messages. And I've had some genuinely, like, at first it was kind of slightly scary, but I've had a few people like write into my email, be like, listen, I'm gonna be in Tokyo next week. I know where you are. I'm gonna find you, and I'm gonna like they would say some really, I don't even want to say it. They would say some really violent and terrible things that they're going to do that in the end would basically result in death if you don't delete these videos about tiny apartments. And it was really funny because I had told Dogen about this. My buddy Dogen is also a content creator. He does jokes and Patreons. That's the best way to describe him. And Dogen was like, nah, there's no way that these things that you're saying are true. There's no way that people are actually like sending you emails like that, right? I showed him one of the emails and he was still moderately skeptical of the idea that this email was real. And then we worked on a video together about the making of Dogen's house. And Dogen made his own video about his house. And there's just something about living spaces in general that brings out all the crazies, all of them. And Dogen actually just randomly video called me one day and he's like, dude, I have to apologize. I'm sorry for doubting you. You weren't wrong. And releasing this video about my new house has shown just how crazy people can get in the YouTube comments about houses. And so it's, yeah, apparently just making a video about a tiny house or tiny apartment sends up red flags to people that you are some government sponsored spy trying to, I don't think people realize that there's this beautiful thing in life called choice. Like, you can live in one of those places if you want to. You can also live somewhere else if you want to. And we're in the core of Akihabara now, jaywalking our way through the street. Gonna make our way down here. I promised shrines and temples. Did a video a couple years back of a little something something over here. And my first year in Japan, I lived in an incredibly tiny apartment, smaller than anything I've shown on any of the videos we've done. And I lived there because I wanted to live there and because I loved it. So we have Don Quixote right here. And then we have this. My favorite spot in Tokyo. A couple of years ago, Charla and I did a video and secrets in, this is one of the spots that we did during that time. And I come out here every so often just to visit it and make sure it's still doing well. And it's the tiny little hidden back street shrine of Akihabara. This is it here. What's more amazing that people don't realize, okay, so I won't be able to do it on this stream, especially because it's broad daylight, but what people don't realize is that this isn't the only shrine. Like I showed one I did a rooftop camping video. If you want to see more like cool shrines, look at the beginning of my rooftop camping video, okay? These roofs up here also have shrines on them. Not all, but many. You see, this entire area of Akihabara was originally densely populated with tiny shrines, and they wanted to keep a lot of those shrines, and so a lot of them got moved up onto the rooftops of a lot of these buildings. So not all, but many of these buildings actually have shrines right up on the rooftops, and it's kind of amazing. So now you know. And if you want to peek at that, again, I recently did a video about rooftop camping here in Akihabara, and I featured one of the shrines at the beginning of that video. So, and then we get our little Nezuko's in here and little chibi Gundams as well. Let's go back. There is an easier access side to the shrine over here. Makes it much, much easier to get in. Like you can just kind of come in from here. But I always end up coming from the station side, which is over there, which means that's where it is. If you guys want to take a deeper peek, we can actually go in. I've shown it on like a couple videos, but let's switch to the camera. There we go. I'll take a look. So it's an Inari shrine. You can tell it's an Inari shrine because it's got the foxes, okay? And then there's a little change bucket here for you to throw in your change, all right? And then here, you've got salt, a little mirror, some little sake containers, okay? And there's a message that is far too dark to actually read. And our little Inari foxes are caged in these little boxes here. And you can tell that it's still like well taken care of and cared for because there's an entire care set right here with towels and brooms and buckets and everything. And there's an entire little shed right here dedicated just for taking care of it. So, and again, much, much more amazingly than this, much more amazing than this is just the view up here and the fact that a lot of these rooftops around here have shrines on them as well. So, also truly in love with this gimbal. There we go. Personal Contrast saying, gotta go. So glad I could finally catch you live. Good night from Germany, everyone. Nighty night. Thank you so much for keeping that super chat ball rolling with that one, for joining us today and for saying good night. And I love the name of this shop right here. It's Coffee O'Clock. It's always Coffee O'Clock. I just got a new coffee machine for my office too, so that's an exciting thing. And the baskets. And somebody asked earlier, what are the baskets for? And the baskets are for when you get the boxes and whatnot out of there and you just want to keep the product, but you want to throw away the garbage from it. These here, your DVD cases go in there, boxes go in there. It's actually a lot of DVD. What is this though? Like this is, I have so many questions about this because it's like, were these little statues just placed inside of plastic PVC pipe? I think it was just PVC pipe. I think all of these just go, this vending machine is working for 24 hours. I think they mean 24/7. I think they mean it's working 24/7. But PVC pipe is the new gachapon. So, Oh, that's the other thing. Super, super exciting. If you are not caught up with me on Twitter or Instagram, I also now have my own retro gachapon machine that I am over the moon excited for. Oh, the excitement on that one is very, very real. And it looks like we have a new shop opening up over here. Anytime that you get a grand opening for a shop, people will send flowers. And one of the things that they always try to do is have like a celebrity or someone famous send in flowers as well. Now this shop is unfortunately named Alcoholic. It's like, that's not who sent it. Like, these are the people who send it for them. And there's probably there might be at least one or two famous people on these lists, but I avoid Japanese TV like the plague. And so I don't know who the famous people are. So there you go. If Sachi's still watching, Sachi can tell us if there's any famous people on any of these signs. But why would you? This is the shop here, Alcoholic. It's such a terribly named shop. And this entire thing is all themed, like maid style shops. Looking from most of them, I'm guessing this is where you would actually sit down and drink with the maids rather than them serving you like omurice. I don't think it's that type of maid place. I think this is more like the maids get you drunk and charge you a lot of money kind of place. But yup. And Jesse in here keeping that super chat ball rolling with a beautifully generous super chat saying, contributing for the Norm Coffee and Snack Fund. Thank you for the walk around. Thank you. Thank you so much for the beautiful super chat. I really appreciate it. I want to find like a decent coffee shop, somewhere where I can get like a proper espresso or something. Oh, that, I thought he was going down there for a second, scared me. Heard a really loud noise. Tully's isn't bad, but it's not quite what I'm going for. What do you guys think? I think coffee is most certainly in order, and because it's that time of year, the Christmas decorations and illuminations, as they're called in Japan, have started to come out. Seriously, I'm loving this gimbal. It just makes everything so easy to use. What in the world? Look at this. Effortless. I'm literally just walking around in a circle right now. Japan used to have a ton of Christmas lights and illuminations and decorations when I first got. You can see some of them here. They're all down along here. This is one of the areas that still does them, but a lot of the areas don't anymore. The Imperial Palace used to have one of the most beautiful illumination setups. Imperial Palace, Hibiya Park, some of those still do have nice illuminations, but nowhere near as nice as it used to be. So when I moved to Japan for the first time in 2007. Oh, no way. I was wondering when this would get shut down. This parking lot right here almost never had cars in it. You see, this parking lot right here, as you can see, okay, let's get a little closer, because everyone's like, oh, Japan is such a clean country, and it usually is. It doesn't mean that there's no garbage on the ground. But this parking lot here was literally just a hangout, drinking, and smoking space. Anytime I'd ever walked by it, it was just full of people standing here, drinking, smoking, and hanging out. And like, if we get a little closer onto the here, you can see the entire space is just a mess of garbage and cigarette butts. Like the whole space. Closer, can you see that? Definitely doesn't uphold the super clean image of most areas of Japan. But this area here, I don't think I ever actually saw a car parked in it. There was a set of vending machines, maybe around here, or probably here. It looks like they were probably here. And this area, like you would walk by and you would literally see like a cloud of smoke over sometimes. Just so many people there. And they've just completely shut down the parking lot now. So that's a thing. I wanna find a coffee. That's my coffee song. Oh my god, this little blowfish is super happy. What's up, happy blowfish? How you doing? Super narrow alley onto the main street. Everyone's in a rush. Rush, 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 rush. So the night that I was shooting the Akihabara at Night's YouTube video, I stopped in this street to put together some of my camera gear. And this really nice, like goth-esque couple came up to me and they're like, are you a YouTuber? And I'm like, kinda. They're like, what's your channel? And so I shared the channel and then they were like, oh my God, can we get pictures with you? I'm like, what? You don't know me. you don't know the channel. Like why would you want pictures with me? And they're like, please. And I'm like, yeah, I'm fine with it. We can totally do it. But I couldn't wrap my head around that. And then I ended up getting stuck there talking to them for probably 30 to 40 minutes. And they ended up being just the nicest couple. And I really enjoyed that conversation. And now every single time I walk through that alley, I remember that couple and that conversation and that fun little moment. And honestly, it's those little things that really build up the country for you. Having these little moments of making new friends here and there. Every single place that I go where I've made a new friend, I remember that relationship. I remember meeting them and talking to them, and it just makes that place a little more special. It makes me feel a little more connected to that place. So while sometimes it might be scary, you're cool. Well, sometimes it might be scary to talk to people you don't know, especially while you're overseas. I say definitely don't shy away from it because you'll end up with these incredible little memories and this collection of spots that you fall in love with because of that connection. And this is the leader of the pigeons. He's the pigeon master. All the pigeons love him. So. And Chris Yamagata, come on, always in here with the insanely kind super chats. Thank you so much for that, saying thank you for another stream. Thank you always. And Night Denizen saying some coffee on the house, much love from Portland, Oregon. Thank you. I'm trying not to get squished by any cars. I'm gonna head down this way and go towards the tiny space under the tracks. I believe there are some coffee shops over here. There's an Excelsior over here. Ooh, photo booth. Should we get some photos together, guys? So if I went in here right now and like I sat down and took a photo in a Japanese photo booth, would that mean that we all took a photo together? Is that the way it works? Oh, you can see my reflection too. These are actually, I don't know about other countries, but in Canada, you often have to get like really official photos for passport photos. And these are for like, you can use them for resume, job applications, driver's license, passports. Like these are official photos in Japan. And again, just to show how tiny that gimbal is, look at that. Look how tiny that is. I love it. It's so convenient. All right, we're gonna keep going this way and then we're gonna make our way towards coffee. You jaywalking? Of course I'm jaywalking. Are you new? You gotta be new. So I think if we went into a photo booth and took photos, that would mean that we all took photos together. I should do that sometime on a stream, except I don't typically carry coins, so not really an option for you World Cup fans out there. It's the blue samurai, samurai blue, samurai de la bleu, whatever you want to call it. And the one places that is always open in the morning in Japan are the kebab places. Trying not to get hit by a taxi. And then this is the Akihabara station area right here. How's everybody else feeling about the giant Gigo there? I miss Sega. I miss it saying Sega. They had reached out to me because we collaborated on a documentary. I didn't realize, like about a year ago or something, one of the most famous Sega game centers in Tokyo was closing, and I reached out to ask them if I could do a documentary, and apparently they knew who I was, which was cool and exciting, and we did a documentary together. And they asked me recently if I would do one about a bunch of their shops opening, and it didn't fit into my schedule, but also really I just don't like seeing the word Gigo instead of Sega. So, and Shimayama-san's shop was in here, right down this alley here. And actually, this place is really, really cool at night. Like, really cool at night. I got to hang out in here for hours one night while everything was closed, and it was amazing and magical. And I don't recommend just going in because you'll definitely get in trouble. So don't do that. And there's a good question here. How much would you say it costs per day to eat out in Tokyo if you eat all the time? If you're like me and you do a solid 2 meals a day and you want to go cheap, you could do it for as low as 700 yen. But you'd be doing a lot of like cheap ramen and beef bowls and stuff like that. 2 meals a day. Now, if you want to go considerably higher budget and you want to eat 3 meals a day, you're probably looking at anywhere from 2,500 yen to 5,000 yen for eating at like standard places. Like if I were to take a look at something like this here, again, not super duper expensive. You can get like this fish and chips here for 650 yen. You can get a boot of beer here for 480, okay? You can get this like brulee pancake for 700 yen. So it also depends on your portion size and your mood and appetite. But if you want to get like a bigger meal here, like the curried rice with a topped with a cutlet, this thing here is gonna run you about 1,320 yen there, right? Or a slice of roast beef, holy crap, 200 gram slice of roast beef for 30 bucks. Again, you've got some more like a full meal down there for about 20. So you can get stuff, honestly, depending on like the size of your stomach and how much you want to eat, you can get stuff ranging all the way from the small side all the way up to the big side. But I have survived on very, very little money per day, especially if you can find like a local supermarket and go there after 7 p.m. and get stuff that's on discount. You can get like a decent bento box for like $1.20, and it is unbelievably cheap. So that would be my advice on that one. Just going back to make sure I didn't miss anything else there. There we are. So, and that's a Pikachu vending machine. That's not too bad. But I don't want vending machine coffee. I want actual. Tokyo was listed as the 42nd most expensive city. Yeah, Japan used to be wildly expensive, or be viewed that way, back in the bubble era, but not so much anymore. I'm gonna go grab myself a coffee for now. Oops. And if I grab this off, there we go. That's the gimbal that we've been using all day. I still can't believe how like simple and good this gimbal was. There we go. I think I just do that, and then I can just open this thing up and fold it back in. Again, today was our first test run, so I still have all the stickers and everything on it. It's actually really challenging to do this with one hand, guys. Doing this one-handed is proving to be far more of a challenge than There. The gimbal is now packed up, and we only used one out of our 4 battery bars. So that's pretty awesome. I can turn that off, and then I can literally like put my phone right here and it wirelessly charges it, which is just beautiful. So I am starving, but I have a meeting in about 20 minutes, so I'm gonna get to that meeting. A huge thanks to everyone who joined and hung out today. I'm gonna just, see, slip that into my pocket, boom, gone. It's like it never existed. We're at Akihabara station now. I'm gonna grab myself some coffee, grab myself a quick bite, and you guys know I will see you again real soon. Thanks so much for hanging out today, guys. Oh, also, really important. I almost totally forgot about this part. Okay, so I mentioned how I just went to Canada. The Wi-Fi provider that I use for all of this, I want to give them a shout out because at the very last second, iVideo hooked me up with an eSIM for Canada that worked beautifully, and it's not their first time to do that. When I had to go back for an emergency back in February, they hooked me up with an eSIM for that as well. A lot of people have been asking me if my iVideo videos still stand up, like if they're still any good as a Wi-Fi provider. They are still, as per my research, one of the cheapest that you can find. If you have any other idea of anything cheaper or more affordable that actually is as fast as iVideo, please let me know in the comments below. But huge love to them for always helping us out and providing us with Wi-Fi for these streams and for when I go overseas, the eSIMs and everything like that. If you're looking for Wi-Fi in Japan, you can check them out. This was not really sponsored. It's just more huge gratitude. So huge love. I don't even think I've mentioned iVideo in like, how long has it been? It's been a long time. So guys, huge thanks for you all hanging out on today's stream. I hope that I can see you guys all in Japan real soon. For the Patreon crew, I am working on a special Patreon calendar for us where you guys can drop your dates, your travel dates into a calendar, and then I can see who's in Japan when, and then maybe I can open up some office hours for us to hang out at the studio. So thank you guys, and I will see you all again real soon. Oh, fake ending. Pulled it off. There it is. Just gonna follow this guy in his trench coat. Seriously, where should I get coffee? I think we'll go down this way. We need coffee. Wow, that is a really fluffy coat. Vest. Fluffy vest is for. See, most people aren't going to be sticking around for the secret ending. Most people don't even know. V de France. Still got Akihabara station there. Do they have? What do they got? They got blending coffee. I gotta like look at what they have here. Cafe Ole. I don't think they have espresso. I might just get a latte. I don't know, guys. And this is our friend Frank. Frank the Pigeon. Hey Frank. Do you have a second to talk about? Oh, Frank didn't have a second to talk about. And these are all like little candles and whatnot. Look at that. Also, what time are we at? It is 8:14. That you can't see it. It's 8:14 in the morning. Okay, I can grab myself a drink, and I will see you guys again real soon. Double fake ending. I like the fact that I'm using this like prism thing because not only does it enable me to stream in 1080, but it enables me to do the fake endings. And apparently skateboarding is strictly prohibited. So please don't skateboard here. They won't appreciate it. Mind you, again, I got my skateboard right there, so they probably wouldn't like it. Chris and UT, kohi on us. Chris, thank you very much. You guys see why I use the gimbal now? Because when it's just like handheld like this, it gets all wonky and zorpy. Those are real words, by the way, wonky and zorpy. Didn't make them up at all. So, all right. Gonna grab myself a beverage. And this is the real ending. I'll see you guys real soon, eh? Thanks for hanging out today. It's been fun.